Harriet Tubman was not just a rescuer on the Underground Railroad. That is the headline version, but it leaves out the more important truth. She was a strategist, scout, nurse, organizer, and political actor who kept working long after her most famous missions. If you want to understand her clearly, start with the evidence, not the legend. The Underground Railroad was not a literal railroad. It was a loose network of safe houses, guides, and contacts that helped enslaved people escape. Tubman became one of its most effective conductors after escaping slavery herself. Her value was not only courage, it was operational discipline. She planned routes, used timing and terrain, and reduced risk by moving at night and adjusting for weather, season, and pursuit. In plain terms, she understood how to manage danger under pressure. But her life did not stop there. During the Civil War, Tubman worked for the Union as a scout, spy, and nurse. That matters because it shows a different skill set: intelligence gathering and field logistics. She helped identify Confederate positions, supported military operations, and cared for sick and wounded soldiers and freed people. This is the kind of work that rarely gets the same attention as a dramatic escape story, yet it requires the same core trait: judgment under uncertainty. She also became a public advocate after the war. Tubman spoke for women's suffrage and for aid to formerly enslaved people. She raised money, gave lectures, and pushed for recognition and support, even when institutions gave her very little in return. That part of her life is important because it shows the limits of individual heroism. Escape was not enough. Freedom needed housing, income, legal rights, and political power. Tubman understood that better than most of her contemporaries. There is also a practical lesson in how history remembers her. People often compress complex lives into one achievement because it is easier to teach and easier to repeat. But that simplification can distort the record. If you only remember the Underground Railroad, you miss the full range of her leadership. If you only remember the war work, you miss the moral force that made her trusted in the first place. The real Tubman was both principle and execution. My view is simple. Harriet Tubman should be studied as a systems thinker before that phrase existed. She moved people, information, and resources through hostile conditions. She worked across rescue, war, and reform. That broader picture does not weaken her legend. It makes it more useful. For beginners, that is the key takeaway. Tubman was not only a symbol of freedom, she was someone who built the practical path toward it.